Welcome in to Clear Picture Financial. Your host is Jason Noble. You can find him at Prime Capital Investment Advisors. He is a fiduciary advisor. He holds his FINRA Series 66 securities registration, certified financial planner, and retirement income certified professional with 18 years in the financial arena helping his clients get ready for their retirement. I'm Morgan Patrick, consumer advocate. Each and every week we hit the topics. Each and every week we open up spots on the calendar with Jason and his team at Prime Capital Investment Advisors, and those appointments are no cost, no obligation, no pressure. Talk about where you are in your retirement planning process, and you might be sitting there going, well, I don't know if I want to start. This would be a great time to do it. Or you're in the middle of something and you just have questions. Wow, get that second opinion. Use one of those appointments to do that. So here we go. There's more to investing than just checking the old stock ticker. There are several investment strategies that really come into play. And we wanted to kind of go through some do's and some don'ts for investing for retirement. So let's get into the first do. And Jason, I know you talk about this with your clients all.
Yeah, I want to interrupt. Before we get into that, Morgan, on the do's and don'ts, I do believe taking some time to talk about this Life magazine.
Oh, you got some show and tell.
I got some show and tell. And for those that are watching us on YouTube, right here it is, the Life magazine that was published on June 5th of 1970. It was titled Inflation, Recession, and Frantic Bear Markets. Oh my gosh, does that sound something like familiar? I don't know. But let me start with this. The article starts by stating that the market's 18-month slide ended that prior Monday with the worst one-day drop since the death of President Kennedy. Inflation was at 7%. The Dow Jones dropped 36%. Employment was at 4.8%, and factories were operating at 80%. So, Morgan, let me just pause here. What does that mean to you as far as this article being published back on June 5th of 1970 and the stuff that we're seeing here today?
Wow, it kind of tells me that things come around. History repeats itself.
Yeah. And what it means to me is that we as a country have been through similar situations like we're in right now. From 1970 to the 1980s, an all-stock portfolio had an annual compounded return of 5.9%, while a 50% stock and 50% bonds had a 6.1 annual compounding rate of return. Now, by the way, I think it's also to say, right, like in the 1980s, all stock portfolio was up 17.3 and the 50-50 portfolio was up about 14.9%. So what would 2030 to 2040 look like? Well, we'll talk about that many years from now, okay? But I'm going to be writing more about this Live magazine on my blog, and people could check that out on clearpicturefinancial.com. But I'm grateful that I wanted to share this with the listeners today, right? And these do's and don'ts, they would have worked in the 1970s and they'll apply in today's market. So I think it's really important that we jump right in.
All right, let's do it. Matter of fact, I was just looking at the magazine cover with the bear on there. I mean, that's in great shape, man. Look at that. That's 1970. I mean, that looks like you walked by the newsstand and picked it up.
You should see the article ads inside this thing. You could buy this belt.
No, I'm gonna guess there's Stetson cologne. That's got to be in there. Maybe an Old Spice. I'm just thinking 1970s. I mean,
they got it going on in here. I gotta tell you, this was a blast from the past, and it's been a pleasure that I was able to purchase this and be able to get my hands on this history. Not just to have it, but to be able to read it and learn from it as well. It was just an awesome experience for me personally.
I'll tell you, we're going to give people an opportunity to get on your calendar, no cost, no obligation, no pressure, just kind of see where you are in your retirement planning process. But let's get into this. Let's go through some do's and don'ts for investing for retirement. You meet with clients on a daily basis, but the first do, you have to have a philosophy.
Yeah, and creating an investment strategy on the fly or as you go is generally just a bad idea. When you're relying on your gut instincts to make a poor decision in the moment, it's likely better to have a philosophy for investing based on either academic research or your own personal beliefs or a core set of principles so that you do have a framework of how you would like to invest. And then you can stick to it It's also useful to write this down so you can refer back to it in the future. It's easy to forget when your emotions kick in. So if you have it written down, you can refer back to it and then you can stick to that strategy.
Well, and you're working with a professional too. Have that retirement coach in your corner, have that fiduciary, and it's almost like that governor. When you're on the golf cart and you're going up and down the hills, they put the governor on there so you don't go too fast when you're going down the hill. Same thing for retirement planning. If you're working with a coach, a professional, a fiduciary, you can go over your plan, you can adjust your plan. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're here to help. So these do's and don'ts for investing in retirement, have that philosophy, and to kind of carry that a little bit further, Jason. Have a repeatable philosophy that's going to grow with you.
I think that's an important distinction. It's a philosophy that will evolve with you and grow with you. Your investment strategy needs to be repeatable so you can rely on it and use it as a foundation for your plan. However, when I'm working with my clients, we have 3 different levels of service. We have the accumulation stage, but those are still growing, and there's a different strategy that's involved in that. And then when it gets to the pre-retirement into the distribution stage, that's the second type of an approach and strategy that evolves with the changing of the financial plan, right? And then the third one is really for our highly affluent clients, those that have over $3 million plus. They have a different type of strategy because of their net worth of being able to allow them to get into investments that many people otherwise couldn't, right? So we have to adjust those strategies based off of what their goals and their evaluations are looking like. But you really want to avoid chasing those fads or anything that seems like a flash in the pan. So it's balance of being reliant on your strategy and plan while remaining flexible and willing to adapt to the new research and information that comes out. The stuff that had in 1970 is different than what we have today.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm reading this article. I'm like, wow, that would not apply today, but good core principles. Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, things go full circle, but again, we'll have to go through some of those ads. I love the old, advertisements in the magazines, but magazine looked like it was in great shape for 1970, but it's interesting that, we're getting ready or in the middle of kind of going through the same thing, and it's 2022. Clear Picture Financial is the program you're tuned to. Your host is Jason Noble. Again, you can find him at Prime Capital Investment Advisors right here in the Charleston market. An opportunity to get on his calendar and talk about your retirement situation right around the corner. And these appointments are no cost, no obligation, and simply no pressure. We only have a limited number. It's a very busy office, so when we open them up, jump on those appointments. Talking about do's and don'ts for investing in retirement. So we've already talked about a couple of do's. Have that philosophy, but also have that philosophy that's repeatable. It also grows with you, evolves with you. Now, here's a don't, right? You're in the middle of it, man. It's going crazy. There's volatility. Does that sound familiar? Mm-hmm. Don't question your plan in the heat of battle.
Yeah, and when markets are volatile, it's not the time to question your investment strategy. Well, it can be tempting to want to make changes to your investment plan while the market is down. It's important to refer to your own plan and stay the course. But this kind of leads into a do, Morgan, and that do is around the strategy and it being right for you. You okay if I kind of jump right into that do?
Do it. Do it. Very, very important.
Just do it. Oh, okay. I don't know if we need to get that trademark. Okay. Your investment strategy is ultimately for you, not your next door neighbor, your coworker, or your brother, sister, or family member. It has to work for your risk tolerance, your goals, or what you're trying to save for. You need to create an investment strategy that's aligned with you personally and not a one-off size fits all type of situation. Every single person I work with has a customized strategy because every single person I work with has a totally different financial unique plan. So, with that in mind, you need to determine what success looks like for you so that you can have your own metrics to measure success within your investments.
Hang on just a second. Oh, yeah, that's Nike. Yeah, Nike is calling. We cannot use just do it. That's hot off the presses. So, yeah, we're talking about the do's, so we're just doing it. We jumped ahead a little bit, but, not changing the, just stay away from your plan when things are volatile. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be wanting to kind of mix some things up. You got to stay calm. Don't panic. So we've talked about that. And then here's another don't, and you can hit on this. Don't expect your plan to outperform the market.
Absolutely. Your investment strategy won't always outperform the market, and that's okay. That's all right. Even the best investment plans underperform sometimes. It's not a cause to abandon your strategy or scrap your whole investment plan. there are many external factors that play into the short term of that impact of your investment strategy. So it's important to keep that long-term perspective when it comes to investing and analyzing how your investment strategy is working out for you specifically.
He's Jason Noble. You can find him at Prime Capital Investment Advisors right here in Charleston. Check out a great website, great resource for you, clearpicturefinancial.com. Of course, the name of the show, Clear Picture Financial, talking about do's and don'ts when it comes to investing in retirement. Opportunity to get on the calendar with Jason right around the corner. This last one that we're going to do, and it is a do, we kind of get set in our ways, and we may have information. Maybe we were educated years ago on certain things, and we're kind of biased towards those things, Jason. You really need to keep your biases in check. Be open-minded. Really get in and educate yourself on all the new things that are happening.
Yeah, I got to say, understanding that you have your own behavioral and emotional biases when it comes to investing, and you need to keep that in check. Biases like confirmation bias can make you susceptible to seeking out data that just confirms your own thoughts and strategies. We see that a lot, and also in social media. There's a lot of studies on that, right? But it may not be your own best interest. So keeping your biases in check can be very difficult. It's referred to as behavioral finance, and working with a qualified professional to work with you on that is such an important aspect. And I can't tell you how often I have to do that with my line of work, working with my clients to make sure that we look at one thing in today's environment, especially money is green. It's not blue. It's not red. It's green. Right. So having your own political views is important. I want you to go out there and vote, obviously, with midterms coming up. But to reflect an investment strategy solely based off that one aspect, you may be missing out on other opportunities.
Yeah, remember, money is green. I like that advice. Money is green. Now's the opportunity to get on the calendar with Jason Noble and his team at Prime Capital Investment Advisors. Jason, what's going to happen for these callers? Again, we have 10 total for the show.
Yeah, we expanded it to 10. And so if you're one of the next 10 callers, we're going to custom design a clear picture analysis, financial review that will indicate if you're in the need of a full-blown wealth plan. We'll refresh your financial plan, especially with all these changes that we're seeing in today's market. We'll use a risk-first approach to help protect the money and optimize your portfolio. We'll look at providing tax optimization. We want to see if there's ways that we could put more money in your pocket and less than Uncle Sam's. And last but not least, very important, we'll evaluate your estate plan. Listeners, we want to put a peace of mind to your retirement plan for the rest of your life and providing that clear picture to your financial future. This is complimentary for the next 10 callers, Morgan. How can they reach out to schedule these conversations?
Easy to do it. Here's the number, 800-948-1216. That's 800-948-1216, or you can text Noble to 600-700. That's 800-948-1216, or text Noble to 600-700. Coming back on the program, it's more retirement talk, and we spend most of our lifetime getting ready for retirement. We need to make sure that we are prepared as possible. We'll talk about financial gaps coming up.